Hi, I'm Leah. I'm one of the community builders for Paignton Town Centre and Clifton and Maidenway. The project, Winner Street Living History, was funded as part of the Torbay's Local Heritage Support Scheme, funded by the National Lottery Heritage Fund. And the project really was based on lots of different conversations with people about what they wanted Winner Street to be and how we could improve the look of it. And the two things that came out of that were cleaning it, making it look cleaner, and also doing something about the empty shop windows. And so the biggest chunk of the funding really has gone on engaging the local people and visitors with the heritage of the street.
Winner Street, the oldest street in Paignton, joins the Fisher Street, where the fishermen used to come up with their catches for the pannier market, to the agricultural side of Winner Street at the bottom of Collie End Road, where animals would be brought down to the slaughter yards behind the street. Many of these houses in Winner Street were wattle and daub with a thatch roof. This, of course, was very susceptible to fire, which is why we have so few of the really old buildings in Winner Street. There isn't much that's older than 1800. One of the worst fires in Winner Street was in 1927, when the houses past the Globe, which was on the left near the top of Winner Street, caught fire, and there are some wonderful photographs of the firemen trying to take down the thatch and deal with the fire and the flames. Well, the Oldenburg Hotel, it's named after the Duke of Oldenburg, who with his family spent many holidays in Paignton.
Originally, the Oldenburg Hotel had pillars outside at the main entrance, but the pavement was quite narrow anyway, and the road, and vehicles kept driving into the pillars, so they decided in the end that it was cheaper just to knock the whole lot down and get rid of the portico and just have a plain entrance.
At the west end of Winner Street was Polk's the Butcher's, and there was located the first ever telephone exchange in Paignton. It had 7 subscribers, and unfortunately it closed as soon as the butcher's shop closed. So if you wanted to make a phone call after 7 o'clock at night, you couldn't.
Winner Street was the main street in Paignton for many centuries. It was the centre of the town because it was sand dune and marshes down towards the sea. When the Victorians came along, unfortunately, the community aspect of Winner Street failed somewhat because shops and houses were built for nearer to the seashore, and unfortunately Winner Street suffered quite a lot because of it. Hopefully, with the latest ideas that are up and running now, the Winner Street will become a main hub for the community once again, for the smaller shops and more localised shops.
So that came about because we wanted to dress the street in time for the Christmas event. And so the volunteers, after we did this massive big weeding programme, we used some of the funds to get some fairly robust plants. And we just went down, and the containers that needed a bit of TLC, we tried to unify them and planted the same plants in each one. And again, that's really cheered the place up. So yeah, it's really engaged people. We had lots and lots of positive engagement as we were doing the planting and the weeding, actually. Hello. Hi, you're open then. I am. It looks amazing. So tell us the story of how you ended up here in this lovely little shop.
Months ago, I went to a networking meeting at Devon Maid and met Amy and Dan and told them what I was doing at the market.
This was Totnes Market.
Yeah. Told them I was going to start my market stall and that I'd looked at a shop further down on the street in July because I just got this thing that I wanted to have a shop on Winner Street because I really love it.
Why Winner Street though?
Because when I moved here and discovered it, which I did because I live at the top of the hill, I came down walking to the beach and sort of came onto Winner Street and like, oh, I just loved it. It reminded me a lot of Brighton Lanes, but I just really liked it.
You've had
Like,
lots of support.
I've had
haven't you?
I've had lots of support. I've had lots of positive feedback from people that walk past here every day. People that may not even necessarily buy flowers, but they knock on the window or they knock on the door and say, "Shop looks amazing. Winner Street needs something like this." Everything is sort of pointing me in the in the direction of keep going. Just keep going with it. Keep going with it.
It'll be fine.
So-
I think you've probably started the ball rolling on something really lovely. Building the group of volunteers has been really lovely. And it's a small group, but they are very dedicated, and we'd like to grow that group of volunteers. And people noticing the changes and saying really lovely positive things about the street. We had a lot of engagement, which was lovely. We had children from Oldway that came and sang carols. We set up a little gazebo, Christmassy gazebo outside one of the shops. Singers from one of our volunteers came and sang as well. So we had 2 Christmas carol choirs. And then the finale, if you like, was the Santas on motorbikes, which was amazing.
My name is Dan Chadney, and I run Indie Brand Builder, which is a local design agency. We create websites and branding and just marketing assets for small businesses. And we had the opportunity to help raise the profile of Winter Street by creating these boards that went up in the windows of the empty shops. So we worked with Leah Whitcher, who is the community builder for the local area, and we gathered a lot of the historic photos of Winter Street, create a kind of a scrapbook approach to the boards, and really just some vibrant color on the street. Show some of the fun facts about the historic buildings, quotes from local people that had grown up in the area, and shop owners.
Hi, my name's Rich, and I run the Barber's Lounge here in Winter Street. I really love the character of Winter Street. I love the architecture and the history of Winter Street. Yeah, I think the Heritage Project is great. It's great that there are people here getting behind it and driving it.
My name is Jordan, and I am the owner of Five Walls Hop House, which is a craft beer bar and off license. I think it's been amazing. I really think that Leah has not only brought her energy to the project, but harnessed all the other energy, which I think is so important when you're sort of building communities, because the project itself, I think, is fantastic. I think the boards are beautiful, the information, and bringing the history to what is an up and coming street.
I'm Nina, and I work for Gaia Coffee Shop. The Heritage Project itself has made Winter Street visually better place to look at. It's made us realise how lucky we are to live in such a historical part of Paignton, and it's given us a new lease to how we'd like to promote going forward the future for Winter Street, and to hold on to that sort of history and that beautiful history we've got here, and to try and get funding so we can make it even better for the future.
Heritage Trail, that was much more successful than I expected. We had 20 people turn up for the first Heritage Walk. Yeah, it was really nice because they obviously had their own stories about the street, and they were chatting to each other about their own memories, telling me about things that used to happen there and things that used to be there once upon a time. Chris Blake, Chris, who leads the Paignton history group. He's absolutely lovely, and he was my my lovely assistant. I think he's a bit more knowledgeable than I am, to be honest. It was really great to have him there on side.
There are more shops that have been taken over since I've been here. I'd like to see more life come back to the street. I find you can get everything you really need in Winner Street. But I'd like to see every shop filled and more investment from the council, spending a little bit more money back here in the old town rather than just down on the seafront. There's a really good community spirit in Winner Street. Yeah, like I say, we've started a movement of something here, and we got together, and there's a big drive from everyone now to really clean up Winner Street and make it a little bit more of a destination for people.
Well, the project itself has come to an end, so all the things that were put into the bid have been delivered, but it's not the end of anything. It's the start of something for Winner Street. So the project has really done what I hoped it would do, and that is to kickstart Winner Street's new adventure, I think.